All right, I think it's time that we address the coronavirus, COVID-19, the lockdown heard around the world. I am not a political person. I am not a doctor, only technically speaking. I am not an expert on this matter by any means whatsoever, but I would like to give an opinion on the virus. You don't want to listen? You don't have to. So if you didn't know, I live in New York. I lived in Brooklyn for the past year. I literally just moved into Manhattan. We are on a lockdown. They say for the next 2 weeks. My personal opinion from everything I've read and from what I think should happen, this is eventually going to turn into a countrywide, a nationwide lockdown, every state. I think this lockdown is going to be much closer to 3 or 4 months than it is 3 or 4 weeks, which is definitely a scary fucking thing. For me personally, I mean, I've been working from home now for, it'll be 3 years coming on late April. So I'm used to this shit. I keep very busy. The only thing it really impacts for me is going to the gym and then like going out and being with friends. Otherwise for work and that stuff, obviously I'm here all the time. So not a huge impact on me. What I'm most nervous about, of course, is my family members. Like everyone has immediate family members where you've obviously heard up to this point, people that have underlying conditions, whether it's heart disease, respiratory diseases. I actually have a very minor heart condition as well, a bicuspid aortic valve that I got from my dad. But I'm a relatively healthy young person, so I'm not worried myself. The problem is like these older people who get it, of course, have a much higher fatality rate. And that scares me because I have grandparents down in Florida. And Florida is just an absolute fuckfest right now of people on spring break, and that's where cruises are coming in and out of and flights and shit like that. So I'm nervous for them. My mom has gone through cancer and she has had some respiratory issues over the last year or two. So I'm nervous that she might get it. Like this is a fucking pandemic. 60 to 70% of people are going to get this virus. The severity of people getting it, like someone with respiratory issues or a heart disease might get it and be asymptomatic for the entire 2 weeks or whatever, however long it lasts in your system for. The range of outcomes, as we talk about in fantasy, is so wide. Young, healthy people can die from it. Old, unhealthy people can not even have any symptoms from it, which is what makes it so scary, because it is so fucking contagious. What I'm most nervous about outside of my family and friends getting it is the economy. Not for my sake. Now, I want because if this had happened when I was maybe 17 or 18, I don't think I wouldn't understand the impact that it would have on American culture and the economy overall. Like it would just be something like I understood I had to stay inside. And I know a bunch of you guys probably saw that one Twitter clip that came out. It was probably viral on Instagram too. Of these kids down in Florida on spring break. And the one kid, probably 18 or 19, he comes on, he's like, we're just here to party. We've had this shit planned for like 3 months, blah, 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 blah. The kid took so much heat on social media. And I was like, yo, if that was me, if that was 18, 19, 20-year-old me, the same exact fucking words would have came from my mouth hole. If a part of 18 to 19-year-old you wouldn't have said the same shit he did, one, you're extremely mature for your age at 18 or 19, but that's kind of weird. Like anyone who is that age would have taken it to that level of seriousness, especially if you're on spring break in Mexico. You are fortunate enough financially to the point where you haven't had to, fend for yourself in a down economy in a sense. So it makes sense that a kid like that would have those kind of words coming out. To expect a kid like that to understand and people that age to understand, we needed some level of lockdown. Like this lockdown is good for us. I think we should be on this for at least a month, maybe not 2 months, to completely, as we're about to have this as our fucking national slogan, flatten the curve. Because what's gonna happen is the hospitals get overrun with the number of people that have it. People wake up with a cough, they go to the hospital when it's not the coronavirus, and things start getting out of control. They don't have it, then they go to the hospital thinking they do, and then they catch it from someone else, and then they go back home and give it to their grandparents and their kid, whatever. What's fucking terrifying about this is anyone that's not an essential business, and there are a handful of businesses that are obviously allowed to stay open throughout this because we need our country to actually stay alive in a sense. But there are so many businesses, mom and pop stores. Think about This is something I've thought about recently a lot. Think about a college town. If you're a college kid, right? I went to Marist for undergrad, and I think about the stores and I think about a lot of the food places literally stay in business because of the college kids. Now, no one is allowed on campuses anymore throughout the country. There's no colleges that are open, I believe, at this point. So all of those late night trips to get food, all of the delivery that you're getting to your dorm rooms, all of that shit, there's no college kids anymore, and that's where those stores depend on. So best case scenario, the next semester that happens is early September or late August. Best case scenario, those companies, those businesses are not getting any revenue for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 6 months. Many businesses are gonna go under during this time. And that, you don't really think it through when you're a younger kid because you don't really understand the impact. But some of you guys who have parents that run a business are not gonna be running a business anymore. And then they're gonna be in a job search. And what happens is they're gonna go into the job search, but a lot of these other companies that have a lot of employees, the way that they're gonna counterbalance the fact that they're losing a lot of revenue throughout this 6 months period, they're gonna have to let go of people, right? If your revenue as a company is 3 million people and you're paying someone $100,000 and you're gonna lose out on $500,000 throughout this crisis, how are you going to supplement that revenue/loss? You're going to start letting go of people. So these people are let go, and the people who are running their own businesses who need to find a new job are not going to be able to because these companies are already letting go of their current employees. I've talked to people who are 40, 50, 60, 70 years old who have worked at a company for 15, 20, 25, 30 years that were literally let go because of this. This is gonna hurt our economy very badly. We have been in a very good economy for a very long time. We're gonna come out as a country very differently. I think there will be good. I think there will be bad. I'm not here to predict what's going to happen. I think a lot of people who are doing the whole like online marketing business, the people that are trying to get into entrepreneurship, they're going to be wiped out right away. If you don't have a very concrete, real business/brand up and running right now, I don't want to say you're fucked, but in a sense, it's like this is everything I've been building for, because you know that at one point the economy was gonna get shitty. Something like this was bound to happen eventually. And because I've built such a strong foundation for the brand and stuff, I'm literally not worried about this affecting my business at all, except if the NFL season gets canceled. We are very far out from that, of course, but these are the parts of the NFL season where we're getting updates, right? Like the NFL draft has obviously already been canceled in Vegas. They are still holding it. I don't know how they're technically going to do it, like how they're going to broadcast it, but it's not in Vegas anymore. Pretty sure OTAs are pretty much off the board. If we get to the end of like next month and we're talking about, the end of April or something, and we're talking about training camp being canceled, I'm going to start getting nervous, man, because obviously my business runs through fantasy football. I have a lot of other passions, but my revenue comes from affiliates from fantasy football, comes from selling my draft guide. Those things are not going to mean anything if we don't have a football season. So right now I am optimistic about the upcoming season when it relates to Corona and having the season in place. I think in 5 or 6 months, I don't think we're really gonna have a vaccine. What makes me fucking nervous is this. It's like Americans are very impatient and they wanna go back to their normal way of living. They need like a deadline to it. Like they need the government to come out and say, okay, May 1st, we're gonna start integrating ourselves back into society. But that's gonna cause a lot of fucking problems, because think about how this shit started. It started with 100 people didn't get it to begin with. It started with one fucking person all the way out in China, and now millions and millions of Americans are gonna have it. So if we start integrating people back to society, this virus again can be asymptomatic, where you don't know who has it. You don't know who doesn't have it unless every single person has been tested, which we're obviously not gonna be able to do in terms of like logistics and just the capacity of the testing that we have in our country right now. And that's why we're talking about flatten the curve. Like we need to make sure that we have enough testing kits for the people that come into hospitals. But what's gonna happen is, okay, May 1st, people can start, doing some normal things. Guess what? There's gonna be so many asymptomatic people that go back out into society, and we're gonna have a new wave of people getting the fucking virus again, which is why we need to lock this shit down for a few months. If we could do that, I think we can get to the point where hopefully, come August or something like that, we're looking at a point for, I know this is just like NFL talk, but it's obviously very relevant to my business. I just want to give you guys a glimpse into the way I'm approaching this and the way I'm thinking about it. I just think there's too much fucking money in the NFL. Like the owners are too greedy. There's way too much football money, and like our country, in a sense, sports in our country revolves around football, revolves around the NFL. And I can't imagine a world where come 6 months from now, we don't actually have the NFL on TV. So the way I'm thinking about it is like they're coming out with tests that can give you results anywhere from like 45 minutes to 2 hours. And in 6 months, I don't know how available like those tests will be or how many we will have to give. But I could imagine, you know, even if the NFL needs to push the season back a full month, right? 4 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, start at the end of September, start mid-October or something. Most people would be fine with that. I don't know the logistics again behind like the NFL season and if that's even a legit possibility. I'm assuming it would be. Maybe they have a shortened season. I don't know, 12 games, is that possible? I mean, there are fucking holdouts, so I'm assuming that they can have a shortened season. I don't know. All I want is football back on the fucking television. And to be really, really frank with you from a business standpoint, that wouldn't really hurt me that bad. That actually might help me. If we had a 12-game season that started at the end of September or early October, that gives me, I mean, think about it, right? My business prospers from July and August. Like those 2 months are, you know, not to sound like a fucking asshole, but we legitimately print money during those months. Between affiliates and draft guide sales, we make a lot of money during that month. So if we extend that to September, that's just an extra month. So realistically, this could work well for me. I'm thinking very optimistically right now, and I will pay very close attention to the news that obviously comes out over the next few months. But if they push it back and they get these tests, which are available within 45 minutes of administering them, you know, owners, like who are the people that are gonna get these tests? The people that need them the most and the people that will pay a lot. NFL owners have a lot of fucking money and they know they're gonna make a lot of money by getting their players on the field. So if all the NFL players can get tested, and I'm not actually sure how this would work, because maybe taking blood tests before a physical game might not be the best thing to do. You know how like in high school, if you ever got your blood taken, you weren't supposed to like do sports practice. So again, I'm just speaking ignorantly as not a doctor, but I think this is just what's going through my head. If they get tested like 3 hours before the game and everyone tests positive, they could play a game in a stadium that is not filled. I think everybody would be fucking fine with that. Yes, it'd be weird for a couple of weeks. Everyone would get used to it and everyone would love NFL being back on TV. That's the way I'm looking at it. I have no idea what's gonna happen with the NBA. I have no idea what's gonna happen with the MLB. Again, I don't really follow those. At this point, I don't really watch sports. So the whole like not having sports on TV has barely affected me whatsoever. So that's the way I'm looking at my business. When we get a little closer to football season, I'll be nervous if we just keep getting things canceled and more rumors come out about it. But for right now, if I had to put money on whether or not the NFL season is played, I would probably put it at like 80% it does happen, but completely my opinion on that. It's scary from an economical standpoint, but for me personally, I'm not too worried about it. Again, everything I do based on my subjective situation, okay? So I knew coming into this apartment and I knew moving into my, like, listen, I'm 27 and right now, like I'm in a more successful spot in life than pretty much anyone I know that's my age, that I know personally. Now, there are obviously tons of people my age that have done way more successful things and made way more money than me. But you have to remember, like when I started vlogging, I was doing it from my mom's house. And I was like 23 or 24 while my friends were going out, getting apartments in Manhattan and moving all over the place and moving in with girlfriends and shit. And I was like, you know, I'm self-aware enough to understand what I want to do long-term. And my goal was always to make sure I was comfortable before I was moving out. Make sure I laid the foundation for my brand and my company before I started spending money to invest into these things. So when I moved into Brooklyn, I had no idea how much money I was gonna be making, right? I made, I think it was like $50,000 or $45,000 the year before just from fantasy. Then I quit the marketing freelancing stuff on the side. This year we brought in multi-six figures. We've obviously taken a huge step in terms of income. I moved into this new place. I wanted to make sure I was comfortable in case a catastrophic event like the fucking coronavirus happened, and it did. So this apartment, I've talked about this before. I'm always transparent with the money and the things that we invest in and lose and make. This apartment is around $4,000 a month in rent, which over a 12-month period comes out to about $50,000. There's like a month free, whatever. That's a fuckload of money. And if we don't get to put this to use, right? The whole idea behind this was getting people on the Big Dogs team together physically so that we can, you know, just make better content and have like a real remote office to work from. Now, if we don't get to use that for half of a year, like, yes, that's a lot of money I'm gonna be losing on the investment. However, like say the entire year is just fucked and I make $45 this year. I make 45 bucks, right? I have enough money in the bank that I will be okay. I will be able to continue to pay rent in this place and I will be able to live my life generally comfortably. I will probably have to pull back on just spending. I've spent a sickening amount of money on just shit throughout this apartment. So funny when you move into an apartment, like the shit that you don't think of that you have to buy. And this is my second time moving into an apartment, so I should know that. Shit like in your kitchen, the drawer that you pull out where you put your utensils, you need like a utensil holder within there, like a fucking organizing thing. Point being, what was I saying? Yes, I'm subjective to my situation. I didn't move in here because I wanted to fucking flex on y'all and started to live, you know, paycheck by paycheck just to make it seem like I was doing well. Like I understand my situation very well. I understood that I needed to live with my mom for an extra 2 or 3 years in order to set up long-term success and foundation. So there are going to be a lot of people in the online space, in the marketing world, that are trying to get their businesses up and running or have been fucking fake flexing for a long time that are going to be fucked when this comes out, because they are not going to be making real money, and they haven't been making real money despite what they might post on fucking Instagram and YouTube and whatever. So when we come out of this, we will have, I don't want to say trim the fat, because there are a lot of places that are just going to be forced out of business from necessity, like the mom and pop shops, like the college places, things like that. And I really, really fucking feel for those people. So if you are a small business, and I don't have experience, I posted this on Twitter, overall, I don't have experience obviously running like a restaurant during a fucking economical time like this that we're about to see. I don't have a mom and pop store experience or anything like that. I'm not claiming to. But if you need any, if you think I could help out in any way, please feel free to email me, nick@bigdogsfantasy.com or info@bigdogsfantasy.com, and you just want any sort of advice or suggestions from my point of view, I would be more than happy to help out anyone that's going to be struggling throughout this time. The only advice I can give to those people that are running a business right now or are running a team or whatever is just transparency and vulnerability, and being honest with your team and your employees is so fucking important. It is so important over the long run. Like, yes, you might feel better about not telling them what's going on right now, but when they find out you were lying to them, when you have to let go of them in a month from now, and you haven't been honest with them up to that point, that's gonna be 100 times worse. If your business is going to shit right now, call every fucking employee that you have. Tell them, listen, we are struggling right now. I'm going to try really hard to keep us up and running. You know, let them know that you value them. Let them know that you value their health as well as their family's health. Let them know that you value the work that they've put in for you, to you, invested in you over, you know, the months or the years or however long they've been employed by you. And just be a fucking person and care about those people. So when you do that, people understand where you're coming from, right? You have to understand where they are. They'll understand where you're coming from. So my piece of advice is just be open and honest as you fucking possibly can. Again, I don't have like the technical advice to give you. I don't know anything about running those other types of companies. So yeah, I feel for a lot of businesses out there. Again, please reach out if you have any sort of questions for me. I didn't think this little thing would go on for 20 minutes, but I guess that's what happens in these fucking vlogs. They just ramble on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I've been in the Manhattan place for, I think I've slept here for 2 or 3 nights now. We had to, a couple things that have changed for me. Fade the public, we are not gonna be able to film physically together anymore, or at least, you know, for the lockdown right now. Nicky Snacks has some sick family members that he lives with. Max's family is not really comfortable, you know, with us kind of moving around and going in his house and then him coming here, and completely understandable. So we will have to do, for the foreseeable future, our videos via Zoom, not together, which will be the first time we've ever done that, which sucks. I mean, there are way worse things going on in life and people have it way worse than I do, so I'm absolutely not about to complain about this. I absolutely love the new spot. I love the potential of what can come out of here. Now is such a good time with people, like, listen, people have so many aspirations that they want to chase, and a big excuse for them is obviously they're nervous about judgment, but 2, like an excuse you tell yourself is that you don't have the time, or you're tired after work or whatever, et cetera, which are real valid excuses. But now everyone's working from home, for the most part, unless you're at a job that is a necessity. Now is the time to really fucking dive in on those creative things, man. Like, don't waste your entire day watching Netflix. Don't waste your entire night watching movies. It's okay to do that, but like, if you're not gonna, here's the thing, man, like, you have your entire life ahead of you. If you're not, this is the perfect time to start working on something that you're passionate about creatively. I got news for you. If you are not gonna do that now, you're literally never gonna fucking do it in your life. Everyone waits for that perfect moment, which doesn't exist, to start something, and now is that. You're gonna tell yourself that, no, not right now because X, Y, Z. once this is over, then I'll start that shit. No, this is the time to start it. Start a podcast, start a fucking YouTube channel, start anything creatively that you want. And again, I will fucking help you out with that, man. My whole channel is about trying to inspire people and to be inspired by those people. Big Dog's Gotta Eat at the core of everything that our brand stands for. Big Dogs means the people that are willing to step outside of the lines creatively in life, the people that are willing to put their passion behind something and chase after it and work for it. Big dogs are those people. That's who I refer to when I mean the big dogs. When I say gotta eat, those people who are willing to put themselves on the line and willing to be vulnerable and put themselves out there are going to fucking eat. All right? They're going to be successful. They're going to be successful, most importantly, inside. When you chase after something that you are passionate about, there's not a better feeling in the world. Now is the fucking time to do it. It's not the perfect time because there's no such thing as the perfect time, but now you actually have time where you can't make excuses for yourself. So, fuck the coronavirus. Go start some shit. You are good enough. I love y'all, man. I'm tired and I'm out.
Sit your ass on me. Want you close. You've been gone for a little. I've been bad. Thinking if you left, I regret not telling you. Love's just a word to say. Who know love anyway? So you don't go away. I say I love, I say I love. Just a word to say. Who know love anyway? So you don't go away. I say I love, I say I love.
I play too much. Anything to make you stay.
So this is the full layout. Front door, kitchen. Pretty slim, but we need as much real estate for content creation as possible.
Say it anyway.
The bathrooms are fucking beautiful. Lots of room. So it's 2 floors. I'm actually not sure where we're gonna do this, the actual studio in terms of like where we record and stuff. So I'm thinking we could just put the podcast table here, cameras around, lighting and shit. Beautiful view.
Keep you close. Let's stay here for a little.
This is cool as shit. So, I mean, we could do the recording down here, but it'll get dark and it'll be a little bit harder to get good lighting in here. I don't want like diminished energy down here. I'd rather this be like a chill room. Like maybe we could put like a desk here for people to work at. Maybe make this into like a little bit of a man cave. Maybe like a couch over there, TV over there. I can't believe this place is fucking mine. Jeez. And then there's actually another room in here. Yo! Honestly, this could actually fit my bed probably. I might put my bed in here. And then there's a second bathroom. So, this place has an enormous amount of room. More storage here. More storage here. The only thing we'll have to work on is getting a little bit more lighting in here, and everything should be gravy. And this goes out to the hallway, which has a gym over there, which is cool, and it's got a dope rooftop, which I probably already plugged into one of the other videos.
I play too much. Anything to make you stay.
You know I play too much, baby.
The bare bones of Headquarters V1, capital Q V1. I can't wait to replay this video in like 5 or 10 years when we've opened up our own entire creative studio, and it's all fully equipped with gear paid for by insert sponsor, Sony, Apple, whoever.
You ever just like pull into the wrong parking lot on the highway and you just got to take that L and jump over a fucking fence to get to the right store? Big mood. We're at Home Depot right now because we're gonna get a bunch of wood to build the podcast table, and I'm almost how to put it together. But apparently Supreme and Home Depot collab came out today. I've ordered a relentless amount of packages. Things are starting to come together a little bit. Got most of my kitchen stuff in there. Shoes are the only thing that really matters. Oh, this is where we decided this is where the studio is gonna be. So we're gonna build a table from scratch. My arm looks so long in the widescreen. So we're gonna put the table here, I guess up against that wall-ish. I don't know how the fuck we're gonna do this, to be honest. Crazy fucking Spanish women yelling at 9 a.m.
Effort. You know that I still got all the way to the stupid place in downtown Brooklyn. I'm never.
Which plan they're gonna replace it?
I don't know. I have to go back. I went there yesterday. I'm gonna have to go back today.
Being able to go out in a pea coat, sweatpants, Air Force Ones with socks over the sweatpants, and be a completely normal looking dude. I actually might be the most normal looking dude on the street right now. Riding city bikes around. Still ride them in Manhattan. You won't get hit by a car here. So, not getting hit by a car. The wall art in Brooklyn, absolutely undefeated. Elite. The best pizza in New York. Quick update. We have moved everything in here. It's a fucking mess. Steve came, helped me pick up my bed, my desk. Anytime you have a fucking jump rope in the kitchen, you know it's an issue. Put in my first dishwasher thing, whatever you call it, a cycle, ever. Literally never lived anywhere with a dishwasher. I also have way too fucking much Tupperware. I feel like that's probably a normal problem for anyone that goes to a new apartment. Way too much fucking Tupperware. So I have to clean this kitchen. The bathroom is bumping. Woo! Up here, there's just shit everywhere. So it's a little difficult to show you what we got working. The toughest part is figuring out how I want to use my regular desk, because this is the desk that I normally make videos at. And I would film through there, that's my mic, and you guys would watch it this way. You know, we'll have to check the background and see how I want to set it up, because it's kind of, might be okay once we set it up, but I want to make sure there's like artwork in the background. So maybe like the big dog sign that you guys are used to there, or it even could stay there, to be honest, there. I also want this margarita sign in the background somewhere. So we still have a shitload of stuff to kind of move around and figure out. So we got the couches delivered, which are perfect. It's the 3-seater, both of those recline. We have the love seat. And what we're planning on doing is setting up the 3 TVs. So that's 55 inch, those 2 are 32s. We could set up the 55 inch like here, put the 2 32s up there, and have the fucking ultimate Sunday experience. There's still a lot of room back here. So originally I was gonna put my working desk back there, but this is obviously a horrible backdrop because the couch is so close. But if the couch wasn't there, it'd be cool to have the trifecta TV in the background, but the stairs are also over it. So I'm not sure what we're gonna put there. Put a poll on Twitter and Instagram yesterday. Let me know what we should put there. I'm thinking a hammock. What else do we got? Originally, we were thinking about putting the couches like here and here, facing that wall, because this is a really fucking long wall. So we can put the TVs up here and then put the desk over there. But same thing is just like, it's not a very good area for the desk with this shit in the background. Plus it gets kind of dark down here. So I'd kind of like to separate the 2 rooms to have this is more of like a hangout, chill, think tank place. And then upstairs is the actual recording studio for everything. My bedroom somehow fits in here, barely. This kind of goes back to, this is a neat little thing I just put together. This kind of goes back to what I was talking about for the kitchen is I wanted to use as much real estate for like actual shit, not my personal stuff. So bedroom is small as hell. Could still open the closet doors. I'm thinking about taking the doors straight off that like I had in my old apartment so I could just get access to my clothes and stuff. I have my own personal bathroom, which is cool. So we got the bedroom is really small. The kitchen's really small, which is perfect. And we have a lot of room to figure out how we want to set this shit up going forward. So I'm going to continue unpacking. I'm fucking exhausted, man. Every time I unpack something, like 17 more new things slap me in the face. So